this is Paul Mackey on day 14 of the Dog Days of Podcasting here at the One Idjit's Thoughts on Podcast. Obviously, back-to-back episodes is the whole point of Dog Days, but this one will be even more back-to-back than usual. I recorded last night and released, and if all goes well, this episode will release before noon today, as I am covering the 2 to 10 p.m. shift today at work. So now we look into Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 4, Sock Opera. The brief summary. At the library, Dipper and Mabel get out the laptop found in the bunker. Seuss has apparently given it a Band-Aid fix. It powers up, but no sooner than the twins are able to celebrate, a password wall slams down, though it conveniently at least shows the password as 8 characters long. Mabel says Dipper's brains and her remarkable focus will mean the password will fall to them in no... Hey, wait, who is that dreamy puppeteer? After the credit sequence, Mabel introduces herself to the puppeteer, Gabe Benson, then implies she knows puppets. Soon she returns to Dipper and tells him she needs to come up with an elaborate puppet show she made up on the spot while talking to Gabe as though it was already in production. Dipper, meanwhile, is focused on the password problem, but he agrees to help with the puppet show when Mabel promises to help with the password afterwards. Dipper continues trying passwords, and one night Bill Cipher appears and tries to make a deal, a password hint for a small favor. Dipper isn't having any of it, but Bill says he'll be waiting if Dipper changes his mind. The next morning, Mabel is ready to hand off the puppet production to Candy and Grenda, but just then Gabe skates up, saying he has discarded another puppeteer's information after seeing a shoddy show from her, and Mabel stops everything else so she can make sure her show is top-notch. Dipper carries on, even though he's running on little sleep, but he suddenly finds out he's hit a password retry limit and this laptop is about to self-erase if he does not enter correctly on the next try. And of course, Bill shows up. As a 5-minute timer ticks down, Bill makes the offer again, saying it deals with puppets. Dipper decides he can sacrifice one of Mabel's puppets, but when he agrees, Bill says that Dipper is the puppet he wants. Bill strips Dipper's spirit out of his body, then takes over. Bill immediately closes the laptop and smashes it and says destroying Journal 3 is next, so Dipper won't be able to get in the way of his bigger plans. Dipper says the journal is hidden away safely, but just then Mabel pokes her head into the room and says she borrowed the journal as a prop for her show. Bill takes Dipper's body to the puppet show premiere to try to figure out where the journal is. Dipper goes in spirit form and at intermission possesses his own sock puppet to talk to Mabel. He explains the whole dilemma, but Gabe enters and says the puppet show is going really well and he might consider a date if Mabel is able to stick the landing. Dipper is not okay with that, and Mabel agrees to get the journal somewhere safe if Dipper can take over the performance of the show. She reaches for the wedding cake that is suspended from the fly systems to get to the journal, which is inside, but falls in, and Bill reels her back upwards. He gives her a choice. Give him the book, or he drops her, ruining the show. It looks like Bill has won, but when he taunts her about who would sacrifice everything for a dumb sibling, she replies Dipper would, and she pulls him into the cake and they fall to the stage. Bill still thinks he has the upper hand, but Mabel realizes Dipper's body is sleep-deprived and won't be able to keep up with her well-rested Mabel body. Dipper's body collapses and Bill is expelled. Dipper's spirit retakes its place. Bill in Dipper Puppet taunts them that big things are coming and they can't stop him, and Mabel sees that he is on the pyrotechnics box and she sets off the big finish button. The fireworks shoot everywhere and destroy the stage. The crowd boos, and Gabe no longer wants to speak to Mabel, walking away while kissing his puppets. Dipper apologizes for ruining the show, but Mabel also apologizes for getting distracted by a cute guy. The credits are over real video of a sock puppet performance, and that in turn gets heckled by more realistic puppets of Old Man McGucket and Stan in Statler and Waldorf style before Mabel jerks awake, as though that was all a dream. Very cartoonish. Well, I'm beginning to suspect that any Bill Cipher episode will be very cartoonish, period. And my favorite line...
Dipper, I told you to get some sleep last night. Here, wake up with some Mabel juice. It has plastic dinosaurs in it.
It's like if Coffee and Nightmares had a baby.
Who is? Jorma Taccone played Gabe Benson, master puppeteer. Jorma was born in Berkeley, California in 1977 and is a theater grad from UCLA. He is best known as a member of the Lonely Island comedy troupe and as such has been part of over 100 shorts for SNL. He wrote and directed pretty much all the MacGruber content associated with The Lonely Island, including the original short, the feature film, a good portion of the associated TV series, and of course the forthcoming MacGruber feature film sequel. So what worked? They really played a switcheroo on me, and I loved it. What looked like a normal Mabel story that probably would eventually have a Gravity Falls twist to it instead became the return of Bill Cipher, with his full sights set on Dipper, and apparently destroying any progress Dipper has made into unraveling the town's mysteries. What didn't work? I think this is actually well balanced, and I don't really have anything to nitpick this time. Things to ponder. Bill Cipher is an excellent agent of chaos, but aside from wanting to prevent Dipper from figuring it all out, what is his agenda? For that matter, what is Dipper in danger of figuring out? Dipper's goal is what's up with Gravity Falls, but there's clearly a more specific secret Bill wants to keep hidden away. Is the laptop permanently ruined, or will we get another crack at the mystery from that angle? Next time is Gravity Falls, Season 2, Episode 5, Seuss and the Real Girl. And I sure hope it doesn't have very much tie to the actual movie Lars and the Real Girl, because I don't want to see that. Happy hunting! You've been listening to the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast, produced by Paul Mackey in association with Nimlas Studios. Any short clips of audio from shows is included under fair use for commentary purposes, and copyright for that content remains with its original copyright holders. The theme song is Too Good by Jack Mangan and is used by his generous permission. One Idjit's Thoughts is produced under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. You can find more episodes of this podcast and many other fine podcasts at nimlas.org. You can contact me by emailing idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com or commenting on episodes at nimlas.org. So if he's making out with those puppets this afternoon, I don't even want to know what happens tonight.